Hi and welcome to White Shirt Day at Forager Funds Management. I'm Chief Investment Officer here, Steve Johnson, and I'm joined by Alex Shevelev, Senior Analyst on our Australian Fund. Hi Alex, how are you?
Hi Steve, hello everybody.
We're talking today about a stock that we have owned in our Australian Fund for more than 10 years. It's called Enero, used to be called Photon Group. It's been a crazy roller coaster of a ride, but I've never ever seen this business going better. The share price is up. The profitability is up. It's declared a nice big fat fully franked dividend. Alex, what's going on with a business that we thought would probably be suffering through COVID?
Well, in fact, it's done a lot better than we had feared. So a lot of the revenue across the businesses across the various jurisdictions has actually held up, and a lot of that has to do with two components of the business. One is a lot of the clients of the business there are tech firms, especially for Hotwire, which is a major component of the core business there. And another is that they work in a sub-segment of that marketing services business, which is public relations. And that public relations component has also held up better than a lot more other specifically advertising-driven segments of marketing services.
Absolutely right. And even the advertising exposed piece of it here, it's called BMF, big agency in Australia. Some good clients like Aldi that have held up through this environment, and they've been winning some new clients as well, which is actually great news because Matt Maluish, who was CEO of this business up until a year ago, he had founded that BMF business and he'd been pretty crucial in terms of its performance. So it's great to see it performing well through a very difficult environment. But there is a part of this business that was very little that has become very big and very important to its valuation, and it's called OB Media. Alex, you've been really focused on this part of the business as it's grown in terms of its contribution to Enero's overall financials. Tell us what's going on.
So the business OB Media is 51% owned by Enero. The other shareholders are the old founders based in the US. Now the business is a marketplace of sorts for publishers advertising, and it is a business that has done phenomenally well over these last couple of years. Now, in the first half that's just gone, it looks like that business by itself is 5 times the contribution that it had a year ago, which is a huge outcome.
Now, we've got a slide up here that shows Enero's results over the past couple of years, and you've been very focused on this line that I've circled down the bottom, which is outside equity interests. You just mentioned they only own 51% of this. That means that all of OB Media's revenue and profits go into Enero's accounts, but you see this line down the bottom that is other people's share of the profits, and it's grown like crazy, and that tells us that the business is growing like crazy, even though management's been pretty reluctant to tell us what's been going on there. So it's gone from zero. They've owned the business for 10 years. It did nothing for a very long time, wasn't making much money. Last half year, it was 1.4 million of profit. We started to say, well, this is good, but is it going to go back to zero? It's been 5 million of, that's just the Enero share of the profit in the last 6 months. And it seems like, from what management tell us, it's continuing to grow like crazy. Most interesting for me, though, it's now been classified in a non-core segment in a slide here, and that's management speak for we're thinking about selling it. How significant is that for the valuation of Enero?
Potentially very significant, because there is potentially another buyer here who might value that business in a very different way to the way that that it would be valued in as a component of a listed company in Australia. So, for example, a private equity firm or something like that can see that business, which is in the quite exciting ad tech space, and put a multiple on those earnings that might be quite significant for Enero's market cap. So, in rough terms, that could equate to half of the current, and that market cap is up quite substantially over the last couple of months, half of that current market cap.
So we've got a core business here that is performing very well, and really we've won a lottery ticket is probably the honest truth about it, but it's become a very significant lottery ticket. We've held this stock for a very long time, been through some difficult times, and it's great to see it going well, and very important that we maximize the value of these investments where we do get some luck along the way as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see some news around this particular part of the business over the coming months. It's a particularly good environment for selling this type of business, and it continues to perform well. If it stays in the Enero empire, it may never get as fully valued by the stock market, but it's good in any case that it's become a significant growth for Enero. Thanks for tuning in. Let's hope the rest of reporting season is as good as what we've seen from this little stock.